may be wondering what's going on here, but the real question is not what, but where. Where are we? Well, if you guessed Holland, you're halfway there. We're actually in Holland, Michigan. We're going abroad for the Tulip Time Festival, which is the annual Dutch Heritage Festival that goes on in Holland, Michigan. Now, to kick it off, what they do is they clean the streets. It's a tradition in the Netherlands. Anytime there's a community activity, they actually sweep and wash the streets. That's what's going on here, getting them tidy and ready for a big event. So, come on, let's join them. When we think of Holland, we tend to think of, well, tulips, windmills, and wooden shoes. And there's certainly plenty of those here in Holland, Michigan. But there's also a lot more. Located in the western region of Michigan's Lower Peninsula, the Tulip City was settled in 1847 by Dutch Calvinist separatists. Try saying that 10 times fast. Since then, it's remained a stronghold of Dutch heritage, boasting over 30,000 residents and 1 million visitors annually.
America in Bloom is an organization that was founded in 2001, and it is a competition so that communities that enter compete in a population category. America in Bloom sends 2 judges to each community. They spend 2 full days in the community. They judge on 6 criteria, so they look at floral displays, they look at landscaped areas, they look at urban forestry, heritage preservation, environmental efforts, and then a category that they call overall impression. So when the judges are here, we design a very specific tour for them, showing them things in our community that cover all of those areas. The competition aspect of it is certainly important. Everybody likes to win, of course, but one of the huge benefits from participating in this program is that the judges provide you with a very comprehensive report after they visit. So they tell us what kinds of things they think we're doing well and offer suggestions for improvement in the future. When Tulip Time was first started, it was a suggestion of a local biology teacher that Holland ought to do something to celebrate its heritage, and we ought to plant tulips, and that's what got the whole thing rolling.
Coming up, we're going grain to glass right here in Holland.
They stopped in, wanted to know if they could buy a few bushel of corn to try distilling, and that's led up to a wagon load at a time now.
And later, dust off your clogs. We're gonna clump the record. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This idea of distillation goes way back, at least to the 12th century, but some things have changed along the way, as you can imagine. For modern spirits, the equipment has been updated, but the methodology remains the same. Here in Holland, Michigan, we've had a unique opportunity to follow these beverages from grain to glass. Don Borson, owner of Borson Farms, starts us off with our building block, the grain.
I grow corn, soybeans primarily, a little bit of wheat, a little bit of rye. Mainly for livestock producers, for livestock feed. Right now, we're trying to get the crops planted. Hopefully, weather cooperates. Within 2 weeks, they'll be up out of the ground. And then during the summer, we gotta control the weeds in it, add more fertilizer to it, and by October, November, harvest it. Mother Nature plays a big role in it. We got into doing a little side selling, whatever you want to call it, Coppercraft Distillery. Been selling some corn, a little bit of rye, a little bit of wheat. They stopped in, wanted to know if they could buy a few bushel of corn to try distilling, and that's led up to a wagon load at a time now.
It's an exciting time in Holland. People are out here for the festival. So our grain to glass story and adventure continues as we meet up with the only certified Dutch female miller in the country. So don't go away. Now that we have our grain, I thought I'd take a little break before we head over to meet the miller at the windmill de Swan. Lisa, this windmill is colossal.
It is. It's really incredible. And I wanted you to really see that size and the scale of what we're working with here.
I mean, this is an authentic 18th century windmill.
That's right. That's right.
It's just amazing. Now, here we're going to talk about power,
Absolutely.
which is very important.
It is, because in order to do that grinding, I mean, you've got to have the power to turn that millstone in order to grind it down into flour.
Does this feel like a pretty good day? I mean, I'm feeling some wind.
Well, you know, we've got some wind, but it's not a whole lot. So, you know, what do? How do you work with that? So one of the first steps, Alan, is really getting these giant blades that are 40 feet long here to face into the wind, because that's what you want to do in order to harness that power. So that would be the first step. So everything up in that cap and these blades will turn 360 degrees all the way around.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what about gusts? I mean, suddenly you get this big gust of wind.
Absolutely, that's right.
And
and you can't really control those. You can only kind of react to those. So what that would do, you know, is it would send the millstones turning faster, and then it's also going to naturally feed more grain in, which is really important because you want to maintain that flow.
Sure.
To keep that lubrication between those stones.
Well, I bet you got to hustle when that's happening.
I really do. I do.
Keep pouring in more and more grain.
You got it. You got it. Next, I really want you to show you how I control one of those other elements or factors in that grinding process, and that's that height of the millstone in order to get the right grind that I want.
Oh,
okay?
Well, let's go.
Let's head in and check it out.
Wonderful. So here we've got some product coming through.
That's right. Let me let you feel some of this, Alan. Let me pour something right in your hand. So this is where I'm checking the quality, the texture of the flour as I'm doing the grinding. So run your hand across that. Can you see? Yeah, there you go. Look, you can see those big pieces of the bran.
Right,
it's the outer shell or the hull of the wheat.
So let's talk about the parts of the wheat, because that's what makes up whole wheat.
Exactly, because people want to buy a whole grain product, but what is that, right?
Right.
So wheat really has three main parts. You've got that bran, so you've got that outer shell.
Cover,
And then that's the brown fleck that you're seeing in there. And then you've got a germ that's a power-packed, nutrient-rich, corner of that wheat. That's loaded with really good stuff. And then you've got the white, fluffy endosperm that's part of the wheat as well. And you know, when you buy flour in the grocery store, that's probably all you're getting.
That's all you're getting, not the other two parts, right?
So the beauty of stone ground flour is that you get all three of those parts in there. That makes it a whole grain product.
Now, how do you manage the sort of coarseness or fineness of this product?
That's a really great question, because if I don't like what's coming out of the chute here from the millstones, I'm going to walk right over here to this rope, and I'm going to pull on this rope to adjust the height of that millstone. I'm maybe going to bring that top millstone a little bit closer together.
Makes a finer
to grind
product.
It finer.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So that's how I would do it.
Well, this is a real art, isn't it?
It really is. In the Netherlands, we have a professional and traditional grain millers guild. In Dutch, it's called the Ambachtelijk Gilbert.
Oh dear, I
you
won't try to say that.
It's the AKG, or AKG, but it's currently made up of 44 Dutch men and myself. And so between us, we run...
lone woman.
Yeah, the lone woman. Yeah, right.
So proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. But we run 42 professionally run mills, producing a product that then gets sold and shared within their communities.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, great product.
Locally grown, locally milled.
You got it.
So how does the grain make it to the glass? Coming up, we conclude our journey at Coppercraft Distillery. You don't want to miss this. Well, we finally made it to the last step of our grain to glass journey, distillation. We're here at the Coppercraft Distillery, where they make premium small batch spirits by hand using local ingredients. Now, if we really get lucky, we'll get to try the official Tulip Time cocktail. They do one every year, and this year it's called the Copper Tulip.
It's a really simple cocktail to make. That was intentional this year, so we're not doing any shaking, and we're building it in the glass. So it's a Collins style glass, so it's a tall glass, which means that we're going to add effervescence to it. So we start off with a fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. We use pink grapefruit juice, and then we put some of that copper tulip tea in there. The copper tulip tea is a citrus-based tea, meaning that's it's an herbal tea. There's dried citrus fruit in there, so it's mostly lemon peel, orange peel, but then there's some bitter notes in there, so there's a little bit of anise, so you get a little bit of a licorice flavor in there. That's also going to add some bitterness. And then we used dried chamomile, a little bit of pink peppercorn, and then we used a little bit of lemongrass and we put extra mango in there to get a little bit of that more tropical flavor to it. And then we do 1.5 ounces of the Genever, and then we're going to stir it with ice to chill it, and we can do that in the glass. It chills the glass and the cocktail. And then we top it off with club soda to give it that effervescence. And then we use a little bit of lavender, and you use lavender mostly for the aromatics. It gets your palate ready for that tea and those botanicals in the Yanaber.
So I just pour it in like this, huh?
Absolutely.
There we go, look at that.
Straight from the farm.
There we go.
Milled
That's
into
beautiful. Here. And then I pull this down.
Pull that down.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Lift up your knob and screw it down.
And batten the hatches.
Batten the hatches. And we're going to cook this to 140 to about 160 degrees for about 45 minutes so that we can start separating the sugars from the grain.
How exciting. I've never made bourbon before.
Congratulations, it's your first batch.
First time it is, yes. So we're going to get this.
Come back in a few years and you get to taste what you made.
Yeah, there you go. That's the thing. Age helps.
Age helps.
Yeah. Kim, this is one heck of a still. My goodness, it's huge.
Thank you. Yes, we had this one commissioned for us.
It's just beautiful to look at.
Thank
you
very much.
Art, really.
It is, absolutely. And this is after we go into our fermentation tanks with the corn that we just milled and started cooking. This is where it goes and we strip out those useful alcohols from the corn.
And so then from here, what happens?
Well, what's left of all the mash in here, we actually transfer out in the back, shovel it out, and give it back to a dairy farmer to use for his cows for supplemental feed because the protein, nope, the only thing we're putting down the drain is water.
Right. Doesn't make the cows a little tipsy?
I'm not sure, but I gotta believe it. It helps them a little bit at the end of the day.
Sort of making it nog.
Exactly.
It's funny.
Exactly. And over here, we go from our stripping still into our finishing still. Please do not touch it right now because you can feel the heat coming off.
It is hot, yeah.
Yes. And this is where we take the alcohols. We're actually dividing it into 12 different alcohols in order to get the true ethanol, which is really what we want.
That's the basis of the bourbon.
The basis of the bourbon,
right.
Absolutely. Would you like to try to sample?
Oh, absolutely. So this would be baby bourbon.
This is baby bourbon, unaged.
Unaged. And
straight out.
So ideally this would be what, 4 years from now you would have it ready to serve to your customers?
Yes, we prefer to go with a 5.
It's got a wonderful aroma already.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cheers. That's nice.
Nice finish. Can you imagine what it's going to do in a barrel?
I can't. That's, yeah, all those flavors over time.
Absolutely, and each small batch is an art in itself.
Yeah.
And it's a unique flavor and profile that we're
And I think that makes it very desirable.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. And our goal is that each person will enjoy it and appreciate the art and the essence of the environment around them in which it was made.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you for sharing it with us.
Yeah, well, keep it up.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. What do you know about Dutch heritage? Well, it's very interesting. We're going to get to the heart of Holland and taste some treats as well, so don't go away.
Well, Tulip Time allows us the opportunity to both celebrate and kind of commemorate the historical aspects of this community, founded largely by Dutch immigrants, though not exclusively. But also, I think it's an opportunity for us to demonstrate a bit of the interest that we have in horticulture and in flowers and in all things natural.
We have people come from all 50 states and at least 30 countries. I just met a couple who were vacationing here from Argentina, and they said they looked on the internet and found out about the festival, and here they are. So they just come. People are interested in finding out about their roots and where they've come from and their family tree. So this is an opportunity for people to come and experience what it might have been like to live in the Netherlands 100 years ago.
It's a family thing. It's been handed down in my family, and I should mention that my family name is Klompmaker, which means wooden shoemaker.
We've been doing this since about 1997.
We have Dutch breads and things over here, and herring. And the next one, they have pea soup and leek soup and pig in the blanket.
Well, we have to get pigs in the blanket.
My favorite part of the festival is the parades. I grew up in marching band and marched in a lot of parades when I was in high school, and I still just love the pace of the parades and seeing all the kids and the bands and the floats. It's just, that to me is awesome. We have a great community. It's very clean, it's friendly. Everyone walking up and down the street will say hello to you, and the tulips are spectacular, and you can see a lot about our culture and the Dutch heritage.
Want to learn more? Visit pallensmith.com for delicious recipes, garden tips, blog posts, and our online store. What do you think of my costume? We're in Centennial Park, where we're trying to break the record of the most people dancing in wooden shoes or clomping. So have you ever known anything to be so noisy, so colorful, or so much fun? So let's clomp the record. Hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll see you next time.